Hi, everybody. I'm Robin, and these are my reflections. And today I have a new to me, old to you. Not old, it came out in 2021, but it's older. It's been out. I mean, lots of decks have released since then, so it feels like it's been a long time. This is the Tarot Neocolonial de las Americas deck and book set by Patrick McGrath Muniz. This is a US Game Systems release, comes in one of these larger boxes. It is one of the it has the thumb hole cutouts. It's not the V box set because it's a little bit before they started with the V boxes. Does come with a ribbon and all of that, same side of the box. So I was feeling like with everything, I don't know, with everything going on in the world right now, I just was feeling this. This deck was on the back of my. It was in my mind. It was on my mind. I wanted to. I never had it. And these new to me, old to use. If you haven't seen one of these before, I think I did two, maybe three more of these videos. These are ones where I have never seen. They're older decks that I've never seen a walkthrough of because they came out before I started watching walkthroughs on TarotTube, and I've never seen a walkthrough. I've never owned the deck. So these are what I call first impressions light because they've been out for a while. So I've seen them. I've seen them around, but I've never done a walkthrough and I've never owned the deck. So this is going to be a first impressions light. These are like me, just chatty walkthroughs. I go through the guidebook. I take a close look at the cards. They're usually pretty long. So I would say, like, if you're the type of person that's like me, one of my favorite things to watch on TarotTube is walkthroughs of decks that I already have. So I like to see what other people are saying about the cards. Sometimes I'll put my deck back in order and walk through it with them, or sometimes I'll just look at their deck on the screen but I already have the deck so I know the images or whatever. So if you're that type of person, you like those type of videos, I like to make them. So here we are. This is why I make these new to me, old to you videos for people like me that want to walk through decks that they already have. If you haven't seen this one, it'll be a full walkthrough, but it'll be a first impressions walkthrough. So yeah, I want to see about this deck because I'm wondering if maybe right now I do political readings sometimes for myself and for my friends. And at the moment, I am using the Tarot V for that. And I was thinking it might be nice to have something that's a little less gory, but also still strong enough to hold up to that. I use the Tarot V, and sometimes I use the Black Lives Matter Tarot, which can be very emotional. Um, and sometimes, you know, when I read with Black Lives Matter Tarot, it draws up a lot of it can be triggering for me. And then the Tarot V is also triggering because it's very gory. So I was looking for something a little less triggering, but still just as potent. So I was thinking maybe this one. So let's take a look. So there's a very long introduction. I'm not going to read all of this, but let's read. Oh, there's a sources of inspiration. Okay, let's just start. Let's start. This introduction is speaking about he had a deck called the one JJ Swiss that he left at his family's house, and then when he went back to his family's house after a big hurricane that hit Puerto Rico, the only one of the only things left in the house, because the house was destroyed along with the island, was that deck. He found that deck, and so it made him feel like it was meant for him to start. He's an artist, and he was thinking about making a tarot deck, and he was thinking, yeah, maybe I should do that. So he talks a little bit about that deck and how he got it, how it came into his possession, how his friend gave it to him, how he found it again. He says, when my personal exploration and interest in tarot intensified once I graduated in 2007, I started reading more and examining the pagan roots of Christian iconography. It led him to explore mythological narratives that he later in 2008 and 2010 combined into Christian icons, as well as appropriated consumer culture brands and fast food characters. And by 2011, he was studying archetypal astrology and infused his work with deeper esoteric significance, and eventually led him to start considering his own tarot deck. So he did 12 oil paintings on panels that he found inspiration in the Spanish colonial Costa paintings and the portraits of the 18th century Puerto Rico painter Jose Campeche, from the beggar to the CEO. These neo-colonial portraits responded to the present socioeconomic living conditions in the capitalist consumer driven society. 2013, he made a second wave of works that were inspired after tarot decks, and he says that they were inspired after the Tarot de Marseille major arcana. And the key difference this time was in scale and complexity, and he also felt free to use several other tarot decks as sources of inspiration besides the Tarot of Marseille. So he says he wanted to create a deck that reflected on his personal experiences from his childhood years growing up in Puerto Rico and his travels through Latin America. And he wanted to integrate some of the narratives from a book that had been highly influential in his art, Memorias del Fuego by Eduardo Galeano. He says that the views from that book expose the injustice in the story of the Americas to this day. And as an artist, he saw the need to just expose that colonization, immigration, the social injustice of the Americas from the historical perspective and through his art. And the tarot provided him with a perfect platform for such an endeavor. He says through the use of satirical narratives and anachronisms, this is how he's addressing neocolonial ramifications and the inept response to the environmental crisis, which has a dire impact on poor communities. It's his focal point in making his art. So he said he started 20 years ago incorporating that into his paintings and in his drawings, and he's incorporating that into the deck. He has hidden connections between American consumer culture propaganda, Spanish colonial art, and Latin American history are revealed in this deck that he's created. So then it says here, last but not least, I should mention that this deck was not initially created with the intent of being published. Like the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, it had the purpose of serving as a personal testament and guide to my own work. And I wish to use these cards as a device to teach myself history and light up the creative flair within by reinterpreting each reading in a new painting. Soon after sharing with some close friends and family, I decided to repurpose these for everyone to enjoy, not just as an educational creative device, but as a divination and self guiding device. And there is much to be learned from history, so why not apply these lessons to our lives through tarot? Took sources of multiple engravings, illustrations, paintings from the Renaissance and beyond. Most of them pertain to the subject of colonialism, but not all. He collected some from the internet, some from stock, some from textbooks, history, stamps, encyclopedias. Ooh, nobody uses encyclopedias anymore. So he talks about what the major arcana are and what the archetypes of the tarot are. He says the tarot, specifically the major arcana, is an encyclopedia of archetypes, the building blocks of storytelling. And when these show up in a reading, they should be regarded as meaning the major arcana, when they show up in a reading, they should be regarded as the focal point of the conversation and the main protagonist in the narrative. Ooh, there's a lot of writing here for each card. So for the majors, there seems to be a lot of writing. It looks like we've got El Loco, the Fool, O Locu, and Le Fou. So it looks like, I don't know if that's 4 different languages here for those titles, and then lots of story. And it's like that for every card, even in the minors. Yep, even in the minors. And then when you go to, let's see, what is this? Minor Arcana. There's information about the numerology. So aces through 10, there's a list here of some ways to interpret the numerology for each one. It looks like he gives a description of what he's painted, and then and what the card represents at the bottom, like the small part at the bottom. He says, my intention has been to create a deck that is both beautiful and also a pleasure to interpret in a way that makes sense both historically and individually. By learning about our history as a civilization, it makes sense in the world that we may be able to foretell future events. And as I mentioned earlier, I remain a skeptic, but also appreciate the value of forecasting, getting the right advice to be prepared and make better decisions while understanding our present situation. History offers us some of the best antidotes, stories, and lessons we can well apply to our own lives. Art history imbues this set of lessons with beauty. That's lovely. All right. So here are the backs. They are not reversible. What's on them? Let's see. It's like a barcode, an eagle, some wheat, a laurel leaf, a world, NMT. I'm not sure what that stands for. Sun and moon. I don't know if it said in the guidebook what these backs are about, but I don't remember seeing it. I'll have to take a closer look later. All right, let's get started. He says that this character is inspired directly by his friend Cesar, who introduced him to tarot in the first place. And he says he is a purveyor of magical realism throughout the antidotes that bridge the fantastic with the ordinary. That's nice. So that's his friend that gave him that deck of cards that he then found later. So here's our magician. He is an artist that holds the pomegranate fruit with his right hand and with his left hand holds a pair of tweezers with a seed. I like that. Here's our papisa, popes. This is an Afro-Caribbean priestess holding up an open book while sitting on a chair with two palm-like pillars. Look what's on the book. Nice. Cool. And the Empress is the Archduchess Maria Theresa of Austria, Holy Roman Empress, known for economic and educational reforms. Perhaps the best-known emperor figure during the time of the conquest and colonization of the Americas is that of Charles V. This is Charles V. He is the Holy Roman Emperor of the Austrian House of Habsburg. What an interesting hierophant. He's got like a satellite dish here. How interesting. And money in the background. And pyramid and water and ships. That's the colonization right there. Isn't that interesting? So this one is representative of an image by Theodore Gale called Amerigo Vespucci Awakens the New World. It's an allegorical image that speaks volumes of how Europeans at the time saw the new continent. It says Cupid points the arrow at a startled girl. Is it an arrow of love or death? That's what it says in this guidebook. Then it's the car, the Ford Model T, the early 20th century antique stuck in a city traffic jam. It's a commentary on car culture and our over-reliance on an unsustainable transportation infrastructure. This one is representing otherness and us versus them. Wow, this is something else, isn't it? Okay, so we have our hermit, who is supposed to be representative of Saint Anthony with the pig that represents gluttony, and he was apparently Anthony was a vegetarian, so this is about restraint and inner wisdom. And we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Let me see, strength. Yeah. God, he's holding the cat. The Hanged Man. I'm not going to go through all of each one of what they are because we'll be here all day. Death. The ones that interest me, I'm definitely going to get in this guidebook again. I love to see what's at death's feet sometimes. It's a very Marseille kind of death. I like this one. Temperance. The Devil. Ooh, look at those people hanging. Faux news. Fake news. This came out in 2021. Okay. The Tower. The Star. This should definitely given Robert place, right? Like, what is it? The alchemical tarot. Here's our moon. And the sun. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Here's justice. It says this is an atomic mushroom cloud. Nuclear war has been of 20th century's essential threats to humanity that really hasn't subsided even after the Cold War. The obvious apocalyptic nature of this card cannot be ignored, but there are more hidden messages here. The commercial advertisements around them offer some irony to the scene. Populating the suburban landscape, we see signs that read, "In sale, always." Besides being a card of final resolution and a day of reckoning, it also implies a symbolic awakening, resurrection, and liberation. Ooh, this is pretty. Looks like what is her name? Image of the Immaculate Conception. So this is, now we're at the swords. So we have Ace of Swords and the Two of Swords. So this is the Spanish conquistador Hernan Cortes meets with Aztec Emperor Montezuma, stands in the middle as an intermediary, advertiser, and interpreter. Interesting. She was an indigenous freed slave who became Cortes's lover and played a key role in the Spanish conquest of the Aztec Empire. Three of Swords. The Four. Who is this? Let's see. Sor Juana, self-taught scholar who lived during Mexico's colonial period, is considered by many to have been ahead of her time in many ways. She's often called the first feminist of the Americas, the 10th muse, and the phoenix of America. Oh, okay. Five of Swords. And the Six. Like we have a mother and child or a couple of children down here. And then look at the nuclear threats coming with them in the boat. With all the stuff floating in the water. Definitely commenting on the environmental threats. There's the Seven of Swords. The Eight of Swords. So we've got lab rats, or look, are these rats or rabbits? What are these? Rats. Really big rats. The background. And then we've got the Nine of Swords. And the 10. Yeah, so this is definitely making some pretty bold statements. The war happening here. Two sides. The Queen of Swords. King. No, this is the Knight. Wait, did I miss this? So got Queen, Knight. No. Dama must be the Page. Page of Swords. The Maiden of Swords. It says it here on this. The Maiden of Swords. The Knight of Swords. The Queen of Swords. And the King. Okay. This is reminding me of the Two of Wands. All right, so now we're on to the Wands. Here's the Ace of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is actually holding like a corn, like a stalk of corn with the corn still on there. So I wonder, there's just a farm down here. So I wonder if this one is going to be about agriculture. Here's a 2. Yeah, it's definitely looking like that, right? Here's a 3. And here's the 4. All right, here's the 5. Who's this? What's going on here? Let's see. Right after its independence from Spain in 1823, Central America was known as a single country, the United States of Central America. In this card, civil war breaks out among the soldiers and generals as they step over flags representing future American nations to be born from strife and political differences. Wow. 5 mountains representing the 5 states: Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica can be seen in the background. Interesting. Here's the 6 of Wands. I was expecting to see more like people getting trampled over in this card. The 7 of Wands. There's the 8. Who is this on the 7? Let me see. Oscar Arnulfo Romero, a Catholic archbishop and saint from El Salvador during the beginning of the Salvadorian Civil War, faces representative forces of the government in the form of 6 firearms. Oh no. 8 of Wands. Yeah, definitely some commentary. Look at this, the 9 of Wands with these telephone poles. And the 10. All right, so on this one, we've got a knave. So that we had a maiden, now we have a knave for the wands, which are a masculine suit. Okay, so we're going, yeah, the swords are also a masculine suit, and we had a female page. So I don't know where they're going with that. Like the Knight of Wands, Queen. Who is this? Queen Antoinette, Queen of France, Marie Antoinette. Okay, Rococo Queen sits on a couch holding a staff and a rose. Ruled right before the French Revolution executed her and abolished the monarchy. The King of Wands is King Louis XIV. All right, so then we're into the cups. Ace of Cups. Here's our 2. That looks like Frida and her husband. Let me move these so we can get some light. Diego Rivera and Frida Kahlo. Yep. 3 of Cups. The 4. Okay, the 5 of Cups. Fray Diego de Landa, burning the ancient sacred Mayan books. Oh no. Goodness. All right, so 7 of Cups. Let's see what's in the cups. Is that a hamburger? What in the world? We got medicine, oil, TV with religious symbolism, a mushroom, drinks, a woman, and hamburger. Interesting. 9. Here's the 10. All right, we got the knave again. The knight. Queen. Which queen do we have this time? Let's see. Look. Here's my cups. This is Queen Elizabeth I. And this, I'm guessing, is Henry VIII? Yeah, Henry VIII. It's interesting they would make Henry VIII the King of Cups. I mean, he did have a lot of wives, but he also killed them all. So, this is the Ace of Coins, 2 of Coins, the 3, the 4. He looks like the Monopoly guy. Let me see. Where's the 4 of Coins? JP Morgan. Is that the person they modeled Monopoly guy after? Interesting. I didn't know that. Or maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just making that up. The 5 of Coins. The 6. So it says the plane represents the privileged in a first world society. The 6 of Coins. Seven of coin. All right, so here's that lady from the world card. She looks like not like Mary, the other lady. What is her name? Is it Guadalupe? Not Magdalene. I think it's Guadalupe. Let me look in this book. Let me see. Yeah, Our Lady of Guadalupe. Yeah. 8 of coins. What's this? A colonial painter. A scene from the book of Genesis. Okay. He's painting scenes from. Let's see what he's painting on these coins. The scene from the book of Genesis is in the back. Interesting. Are all the coins? I think all the coins have this similar. And then each time he adds one, look, there's an American quarter. Each time he adds one, you get a new picture. 10. All right, so here's another knave. So we had 3 knaves and 1 maiden as the pages. Here's the knight. This is George Washington, right? Yeah. And the queen is Lady Liberty. And who is the king? Is this who is this? I recognize him. Let me see. President Andrew Jackson. And the fictional Uncle Sam. So he's a mix of the two. All right. That's the last card. Let's give them a shuffle. So they are on US Games regular cardstock. They're semi-gloss, sort of buttery. I call it the buttery stock. Very nice, glides beautifully. These are taller than a normal tarot size deck. So this is a normal tarot size deck. They're the same width, but taller. So I don't know if I don't think I'll be able to riffle shuffle them in the traditional way because my hands are small, but maybe I can shuffle them I can shuffle them this way. This is their normal stock with the buttery coating. I do love it. Let's see. We read quite a few of them as we were going through, but let's read this 6 of Swords just so that we can say we read one all the way through because I was just reading pieces from them. All right, so here it is if you'd like to read it for yourself. All right. 6 of Swords. Madonna and child stand on a small vessel crew by a modern-day department store employee and a masked figure in nuclear radiation protection gear. In the water, an indigenous child is surrounded by plastic waste and menacing sea creatures. The Madonna, who has become the protector and guide for this ordeal, holds a sword in her left hand and is surrounded by more swords in the sky. She is directly inspired after Our Lady of Mount Carmel, protectress of sailors in many coastal towns of the Americas. Her child also holds a sword and carries a small figure of Chak, the Mayan rain deity. In the background, the Titanic is sinking and Noah's Ark is sailing on the horizon. Oil barrels floating in the sea remind us of the many recent oil spills. This card suggests troubled times and sorrowful voyages, but also an eventual route to success. There might be much uncertainty with a journey by water, which may seem unfavorable, but it is a challenge we must accept if we wish to expand our line of vision. Okay, that's decent. Yeah, I think I'm going to be able to use this exactly how I want it to. And I like the colors for the summer. And it's definitely going to give me a reprieve from that Tarot V for sure. So I'm excited about having this one in my collection. What do you guys think of this? Let me know in the comments below. If you have it already, if you've already been working with it, how are you using it? How are you finding it? Are you using a guidebook with it? Are you just using the images? There is a lot to be seen in these images and a lot to be derived. I think I would probably in the beginning, when I first pull a card for the first time, I want to use the guidebook. And then after that, once I've, read in the book what exactly the artist meant to show me, I'll probably then just, take what I see, like what comes to me, or use my intuition from there. But I'm excited about using these. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, you can subscribe. I release videos every few days regarding tarot and oracle. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this deck. Share this with anybody that you think might be interested in seeing it. I will put in the description box below where you can pick this one up if you want one for yourself. And until I see you guys next time, stay safe and be blessed. Bye.